That's usually my job.
When you do this,
Just look it up.
About shared septic systems, you are talking about condominiums and ownership.
Bringing the planning board to meeting, we'll pledge the flag. You would please join us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. No business, new business, monkey business.
Now, bills, payroll, and just minutes and whatever changes.
Minutes from June 13th.
Oh, yes, I saw in that you had me saying, isn't it nice of the Conservation Commission to do that? Is there any way for you to be able to put tongue in cheek when I say stuff like that? Or they pretty much said it tongue in cheek.
Stenographer.
Okay.
Are there any comments on the edits on the meeting minutes?
I don't have any edits. Do you have any edits? You want to strike the tongue in cheek?
They want the tongue in cheek in.
Oh, you want more? All right.
I think the Conservation Commission is a bunch of morons when it came to that whole thing. Okay.
What we've done in the past, Peter, is just put your edits in and we give them to
I'm not going to have it.
Mary.
That's all I need to do as well. Excuse me, Peter said tongue in cheek.
Zoning bylaw, working group update, you got an update?
It's been going pretty good for the most part. We've met with numerous times of sorts. The next meeting is going to be on the 30th, I believe. And probably just get right down to the nitty-gritties of the verbiage for it, I think. As far as allotments, and it's almost anything you want goes, from what I can tell, is what it looks like.
What's going to be the methodology for determining space, developmental space?
We're working on that for the amount of acreage for, in order to go into this plan, how much a percentage of it is part of it, and what, that's just the last final bits of it, as I can tell.
So Peter, are you working on a open space amendment or a recreational amendment or some sort of a combination of both?
Combination of both. Don't ask me too many questions.
Okay. No, that's good.
And it's
when you
about,
said-
Maren's been at every meeting also, and I believe it's a combination of the two of them is probably what's going to work out to be the best thing.
So it'll be two bylaws that get changed?
No, just one new bylaw,
Yeah.
the way it's looking right now. And then, to me, it feels like an open space commercial development kind of idea
For recreational,
for recreational use, but only on residential properties. And the minimum acreage is looking to be pretty big
Yeah.
to use that.
like 30
A new
acres?
special permit, at least.
At least.
They have to have the bylaws.
So that narrows it down to just a few properties in town.
Right, that'll make it advantageous
Yeah.
to use that bylaw.
And actually, those are the few that we're hoping won't become residences.
Right, and under the purposes, there's, to give residential developers, residential property owners, something else to do other than just develop residential.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
And then another key is to preserve open space.
Yeah, and hopefully actually steer them towards this other option, as
Well,
away from residential and towards this
It's
other
something they're
option.
going to have to, they'll look at the one portion against the other. So what do we get?
Is
Yeah.
the swapping
Swapping
out land on the table?
Long-term thing.
Can they swap land?
You can swap land.
In other words, if I have 20 acres of woods over there and I've got 15 acres, can I basically give you guys the 20 and develop more density on the...
The land
Target
doesn't have to
property?
be contiguous, right?
No, that wasn't, part of the presentation was that you could swap out non-contiguous parcels. Like I could give you 7 acres over here in return for more density over here.
And I think that's fine, because what it does overall is it preserves land.
No, I'm just asking, has that been discussed? Is that on the table?
We
I don't
didn't-
think that, I don't know. didn't
I
you
don't
do
believe
that?
we discussed, non-contiguous lands. However, was it Ipswich or Gloucester or
That's the
somewhere?
one that- yeah.
Yeah, that they had,
In the presentation.
and where they put a building out back and preserved up front and stuff, so I think it'll be a case-by-case basis, is probably the best scenario for those things, and not so much in writing.
At the last Massachusetts Planning Conference out at Holy Cross last spring, the concept, this was one of the subjects that was attended by a lot of people, and the concept of incorporating non-contiguous parcels to achieve the goal of preserving land and clustering whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's commercial or was what they're preaching nowadays. It helps to keep the environment, the natural environment, there, as opposed to developments that will take whole forested areas, put streets and sidewalks, house next to house, and what that does is that breaks up the natural flow of where animals cross. It actually puts up a Jersey barrier for deer and for other animals. And so by clustering it and preserving as much of that open corridor as you can, it's better for everything.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Could we have do we want to have a motion on the meeting minutes, though? Or do you want to postpone it to next time? That motion that we approve from as
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
aye?
So passed. Next.
All right, so we have a 740. We're, I think you can call early if you want.
Chad, or if you would mind endorsing the covenant for the orchards, you'd already approved that pending
Yep.
approval of the wording from town council, he's approved the wording.
All right, we have the last part, you had some expenses for training. I read that earlier.
Yep, just we have a budget, well,
Some
obviously an
form of-
annual budget for some training, and we just hadn't never talked about who gets to go where, and
Well, how
it's at
about
the
if
end
it-
of the fiscal year, we got a little tight.
Do you date this?
I will, yeah.
You will or did?
Well,
Why is it not dated now?
You can date it if you want to,
Huh?
it's, what is it, the 19th? No, 18th.
18.
7th.
Today's the 18th.
As far as the, I think we ought to wait for the financing of that till they have full board of sorts, but I'd say whoever wishes to go on one of these things and, one of these seminars, and as the board picks, all right, you want to go, go. I'll just send 5 people for where one can suffice, save some money. Okay?
Sounds good.
We'll wait till full board. Okay.
Yeah, let's
We have
restart.
740. Are we all set?
That's right.
740, are we 750?
740 Lot 3 Taylor Street? Oh, okay.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is for an amendment to an existing site plan.
Yeah,
When did we get
same
these?
sentence, you,
Just got it.
Well, it just has the endorsement. Otherwise,
yeah, and I think the top one, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
okay.
Put
The
plan
top
down
one or not the
somewhere.
top one? If anyone wants to look at it, come on, it's this.
Otherwise,
The rest is, that's the old site.
This is the new.
Originally,
Right here would be fine.
we had proposed a tradesman's condominium
Yes.
at this site. So we went through the Conservation Commission, the Title V to get a septic plan approved. And this was approved probably 2 years ago. Since the property owner has found another buyer who is desired to open up the site as a composting facility.
Right.
So this reflects the changes necessary to utilize the site.
Storage.
Yeah, there's a small three-bay set of concrete block storage for materials. Then there are 4 windrows of composted material, leaves, and yard debris. a materials processing area, a pair of them. This is surrounded by a berm, and it's proposed that all but the building area and an apron in front of that be pervious, so it'll be a gravel. The pervious area is about 18,000 feet. That's made up of the steel building and the
The impervious.
I'm sorry, impervious,
Yeah.
correct. Impervious is the building and this 40-foot apron. The driveway hasn't changed any. So from the previous design, we still have the same stormwater system, a couple of catch basins, and a detention basin. Over in here to treat the stormwater for the building area and the impervious, we have a couple of catch basins, a tank, and some Coltech leaching.
This one here is '07, this one's 2011.
Well, this was just drawn up, see?
Yeah, this is the original
Right.
plan.
And then that's the amendment
Right.
for the windrows.
Correct.
And then, was this existing?
No,
That's new?
Yeah.
This is new?
Yes.
This is all new?
Yeah.
How many changes did you put on here?
Just the changes in the area, just the building's the
this,
same. Yeah, the
this,
building's the same.
This, and this? Did you do what's the percentage impervious?
We have reduced percentage impervious by about 40%.
So you're inside the window.
Yes.
Too far. So,
If you've reduced, what are the numbers? Where are they?
isn't it like 20, this is in the
Right, this-
aquifer watershed, so.
Right, but this lot is so large that they didn't trigger the special permit
Right.
requirement for.
Yeah, no, I know they don't need it, but you still have to be within some, what is it, what's a quantum?
It's 30 for
30?
if it's.
Yeah.
So you're at 18, so you're inside, yeah. So
Oh, no, yeah, we're like 5%, something like that.
you don't, you don't have to go in front of Concom. for
Yes,
this,
we
do you?
do.
Yeah.
So you still have to approve by Concom?
Yes. We have a meeting with them next week. We've reflagged the wetlands. We had originally flagged the wetlands in '07. Conservation Commission asked us to go out and reflag, so we have essentially the all flag locations, and then the wetlands line hasn't changed significantly.
So if we can approve this contingent upon
Conservation
Concom,
Commission.
right?
Yeah,
Any other issues that you notice about it?
You had asked about the lighting.
right.
There's a detail that requires bylaw compliant exterior lighting. There's no proposed post lights or anything like that. And you also mentioned the sodium,
Can you speak up?
What happens as far, we're the
There's
prospective buyer.
That's the Cardillos.
And like he says, it's gonna be, we're gonna use it for composting.
Yep.
But we're also gonna store, construction equipment, screen room, recycled
So
concrete, asphalt.
You're gonna be doing what, what's his name's doing over by the dump?
Lennox.
Same operation?
Everybody says,
Much.
No?
I don't think it's quite the same, but
yeah, not as messy.
not so much.
You're not making loan?
Well, no, we're making loom and stuff like that, but I think we're gonna have a little, we're actually gonna use it as a, as like our home base for our,
Oh,
So you're
okay,
gonna have,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
have your business
All right.
registered here and your vehicles and everything else, so the excise
Yeah.
tax gets paid to Littleton.
yeah, correct. We're gonna have, equipment.
But again, we can approve it contingent on Concom.
And the building, the only issue you're talking about, you're gonna be crushing concrete.
Yeah.
The only issue I can see with that is the time restraint on how late you can go in the day and
That makes sense.
how early you start in the morning,
Yeah, makes
which I don't know if Littleton has. Just, if Littleton has a start time for construction. Concord's 7, I know that. Lexington is 7.
We could use.
I think you have, I think nuisance noise is after 9.
Yeah, it
And
is,
there's also
there
some
are
higher
timeframes addressed in the noise bylaw. I don't
Okay.
have it memorized.
So as long as they abide by those things there, I don't see an issue. You?
We could use a similar conditions as the Stoneworks has.
Sure.
In terms of noise,
Start time,
because they have residential.
time, no Sunday work.
But is that us or is that wrong?
That
Well,
would be a role,
he
he has to get a
enforces it,
complaint.
but we can write it into the.
You can make it part of the
anything
condition.
special.
We don't need to make anything special if it's already
Well, this is
in,
an
it's part
A&R.
of- it's part of the issue, so
It's a
it's,
site plan.
Yeah,
all right.
Oh, it's
so-
not an A&R.
This is the site plan.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
My brother and father just brought some, I forgot to, brought stumps and brush too. We'd like to be able to grind stumps and
All
brush.
right.
Again, that's a
Again,
noise.
as far as,
Yeah.
there's no hazardous waste per se,
No,
there's no storage of large chemicals,
Toxic materials,
nothing of that stuff there.
no salt.
I don't see any issue with the operation, but I'd like, could you tell me about the building, what you're gonna be doing there?
Inside it?
Yeah. Do we have any storage of oils?
No, I
Just
think
part
it's equipment.
Will
yeah,
be,
it's basically gonna be,
so trucks
equipment.
and,
There's gonna be some type of maintenance going on, there would probably be.
But you're not gonna have 55-gallon drums of waste oil.
No, I mean, just a normal, just to do our own upkeep of our equipment and stuff.
So they're gonna have to have, I mean, they're gonna have to meet Concom's requirements. If you store waste material inside, I mean, you're gonna have to have a, double line bin to drain
Yeah.
into. I mean, all that shouldn't that be laid out in the buildings?
we can also put those into our order of conditions.
I know, but they should really,
Right, no,
Fine, don't-
if they're gonna trip the aquifer district bylaw because of storage, use and storage of materials, they'll have to go through that special permit process with you.
what's the trip?
Um,
55?
Certain
What is it?
certain
It's-
number of gallons.
it's not a lot.
Yeah, if you, the bylaw's right,
Well, I would say that would,
I'll tell you
We'll
what,
need
I
a
think they
truck.
should go, I think this is a change, and they should go back and,
It's minor, like it's, it's.
no, I know, but
No, that's it.
the trip for the aquifer, this is not a lot of oil. I mean, you store like, 100 gallons and you're gonna trip it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have that much.
Well, the way to get around that would be to create a berm at your driveway, at your garage door entrances, seal the floor with an epoxy, something.
No, I know, but
and a
tradition-
curb around.
Traditionally, anything we've
Or
approved
limit.
that way has been laid out.
the special permit in order to operate.
yeah, or limit the volume.
Exactly.
Well, this is.
You get a permit. Mayor, we could approve this tonight contingent upon the CONSCOM and not triggering the hazardous waste. Now, if it does trigger the hazardous waste, then they would come back before us for an additional permit. So we could approve this based on, you're not triggering that threshold. And if you do, then you need to come back before us.
So be informed.
And then what would trigger? I mean, what?
I'll limit the
what
bond.
you're-
I don't think that,
This is this is probably
Your civil engineer will be able to.
not
tell you
gonna
that.
happen right away.
Again, it's, where you're at is the only issue we're gonna have is,
I don't
we're
see
fine
any-
with all this stuff
I don't see
here.
any
Yeah.
issue with the
It's-
operation.
it's any work you do on your vehicles where you store any, large
What's
amounts of.
what's
Very
VQGS
small
limits?
quantity generator.
I know, what is that limit? It doesn't say in there, it just says
No, that's,
greater than.
right. It refers
So
to the
basically, all right with the operation,
Yeah, well,
equipment being there, screening,
sound,
crushing,
right.
that's fine. It's when we know exactly what this is gonna be on the inside, what's gonna be happening, we have to kind of, let you know exactly what's gonna be going on in the building.
you
Well,
need
says
far more
all right.
detailed plans for a building
Yeah.
permit.
Yeah, for when we do the building.
Here, I mean, this is just what it says. Anything under toxic or hazardous material in excess of 5 gallons or 25 pounds of dry weight or any substance is permitted. So anything over that's not permitted.
Anything over 25 gallons.
5 gallons.
5 gallons.
Storage, which I don't know why the hell you got that, I got more than that in my basement.
That's just what it says. So, I mean, I don't know if you're gonna trigger it. I
That's
mean,
in the
it's-
aquifer.
because this would be, now, if Roland comes out and inspects you and finds out you're over,
So that means you won't be able to change the oil on your machinery?
Pretty much, that's one
So,
done.
but then there's a procedure that you'd have to go through, to, like you said, if you're gonna do something in there, you'd have to have
Containment. Now,
containment.
the simplest thing, Sherry Gould, when she built the storage facility over there, the outside garages were big enough to support a car, to store a car. So in those particular places, you curbed it, speed bump on the front, curb around the inside, and epoxy on the floor to contain it. Contain
No,
any-
and that was all in the building plans that we approved.
That's correct, yeah.
But you're not in here.
Well, that wasn't in the plan, that's something we made them add into it. We had them.
they were in the
Yeah.
They were in it?
Yeah.
I don't believe they were.
So-
I believe you if you say so.
Do you guys need approval on this tonight, or do you want to come back with more information on the
Well,
building?
see, we're not really sure.
What kind of building?
That could just end up being just cold storage. We have another garage in Waltham, so, that could just end up being, we're just gonna store equipment in there and that's it. We haven't thought that, but the big thing is knowing that the usage is okay. And then if we wanted to, come back in when we know exactly what the building's gonna be, that's
I
fine.
think the usage is, it's fine. I have no, that's not what we're talking about. It's,
Yeah.
it's,
What you do with the
it's what you are going to do that would trigger what
Yep.
bylaw should you come in
Yeah.
on. That's all we're talking about.
Yep.
All right, so,
So if we approve, if we were to approve the site plan tonight, and then we would do post due diligence, kind of invalidates our finding, right? We don't want to do that.
Well, we could approve it with the condition that
Yeah, we'll set the condition.
if anything in that building would generate or trigger the hazardous material, then they have to come back.
Which you should do it, right.
Or we could condition it to make sure that that building has all the curbs and safeguards.
Changed positions.
But that means you gotta come back and he's gonna show you on a plan,
If it even happens.
if it even happens.
Yeah.
So why don't they come back and tell us what's gonna happen?
I don't know if they know because they haven't really started to operate yet.
Yeah, we don't.
To me,
So we're approving vagary.
we can approve the site plan, but with no buildings, until the buildings are,
So then we have to come back and
usable.
file an amendment.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay, run that by again?
We approve the site plan as is, they come back, they wanna change it to the file an amendment, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to file an amendment.
And all that's true either way. I
Either way,
mean, they, whether or not you say that they would have to comply with the special permit requirements, they still would have to come in for a special permit, so you don't have to say that. Whether or
Okay.
not you say they have to go to Conservation Commission, they have to go anyway, so it doesn't matter if you.
No, I'm not saying that, I'm
Oh, no,
I'm saying based on, doesn't sound like, I'm not speaking for him, but
Give me
doesn't
my
sound
hammer.
like sure about what he's really wants, I just,
Right, well, you're not approving the use, you're approving the location of the structure and the,
that's it.
yeah, that's it. Use is up to building inspector.
Let's just approve it.
Very
So
good.
yeah, they can take their chances.
All
Do we have a
right.
motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve the amended site plan by Neshoba Engineering, dated April, wait a minute, when is this?
the last revision date would be today.
June 2013.
2013. For 6 Beaverbrook Road.
No, that's mine.
Lot 3 Taylor Street.
How about 3 Taylor Street?
Lot
Lot
three.
3 Taylor
Lot 3
Street. What's the
Taylor.
size of the building?
9,600 square feet.
And then the last time you approved it, you were looking for a note that the lighting will comply. Doesn't
Same.
matter if that's,
We'll keep the same note.
and then you had asked for that the detailed drainage calculations go to Conservation Commission. So we're presuming that Conservation Commission will cover that.
Same note.
And yet they have the stormwater report.
Okay.
Well, considering we didn't have a chance to review this before the meeting, I
Okay,
think it turned out well.
second.
This is a great use.
You making a motion?
He just
I've
made a
already made the
motion.
motion.
You second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I thought I was supposed to do that.
You went on. Sign it. We sign this? We signing this?
Thank you, guys. You're taking my thunder.
Which one?
Just the updated one.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, perfect. Sign here.
No, I'm not.
618 or 718?
For a lot of the first district figures with them.
Yes.
And then I'm happy to work with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this is all just coming up. I mean, it changes.
And that's not unusual.
No.
I mean, what's the advantage of them coming back with special permits? I mean, they get to store more, they have more options, right?
Yeah, if we laid it
They can
out.
do it legally.
Well, no, beyond that, I'm saying they can store, I mean, he could.
And the questions that
He could
get asked
change it
earlier.
and keep it drawn, you know what I mean, right now, he can't.
He is my brother-in-law. I have no financial interest in anything he does here or anywhere else, except for the paying good to my sister. All right? What?
And,
Taking all those. These are-
yeah, you sign this one too?
I don't know, we have to sign this one, right?
No,
No, we don't.
those are,
You sure you got the right ones?
yes, I have the right
Are
ones.
these the old ones?
And
Yes.
she got her plans, prints, copies?
I got nothing.
No, I will make a copy.
Can you PDF those,
Yeah,
the signed ones?
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
scan it and email it. So,
PDQ?
PDQ.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm up again though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dover Lane?
Yep.
745,
Fire away.
R. Wilson Associates.
Good evening, I'm Wilson.
Seeing your name on many documents in town.
These are the ones out, these are,
This is an easy one. This guy is getting this parcel X from this lot here. And in return, we're gonna get a fill easement, so they don't have to build a wall for the septic system.
right.
So
I just built that house, so
there's no changes in frontage.
that one's built.
This is the one that's coming with them.
Yeah, that one's already there, that's Ron Dokas's,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
and that's
this is a
built.
new one.
And for that, I
Okay.
get affiliated with this square right
Oh, you're way down there.
So you're giving up this to get through that?
there. Yeah,
And this house gets, is this all this?
that was all one lot that I purchased, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, any other issues with it, anybody?
It's got frontage.
Anybody got problems with it? No?
Maren,
Make a motion.
have you taken a look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you see any issue with any part of this?
It meets all the requirements for an A&R as far as I can tell.
Okay, I'll move that we approve
Second?
our Wilson Associates plan.
He seconded.
Huh?
You seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. Sign it. You get to be first.
The Mylar's right there.
I want to see this on the map.
I'm sorry?
It's a what?
There it is.
With the house?
Yeah.
Listen,
Miracles from one side.
What part of Dover Lane is it on this side?
Dover, it's at the very end of Dover, the far right-hand corner.
Some more.
This?
Oh, there they are.
That's Dover, the turnaround?
Yep.
Is that your, right there, under the trees?
So you make that
What's
bigger?
today's
Yeah.
date?
Yep,
These
that's
are the
big.
ones.
The whole thing, all the way down to the pond.
You gotta sign the Mylar one, right?
Yeah.
So we have to sign each of these two?
That'd
You see a
be
pen for
helpful
that?
if you could.
Where's that off at Pleasant Street?
No, it's off of,
Took my pen.
it's off of Griffin Mill.
Peter?
This one.
It's off of Old
Throw
Griffin Mill,
things at you.
Apple Depot.
That's a good one.
Where's, wow, bad map. 495. Oh, that is, yeah, you're right.
Pass that down, Jerry.
Sharon? Gotta sign it right there.
John, do you take this to the registry?
We have to sign them both, right?
Yeah, there's more coming.
Sure.
Give it a Sherry, let her do it.
All right, I'll take the Mylar and go.
Yeah, wasn't there something we're supposed to get from, there was something else? From
Yes,
Sharon
sir.
Gould? In the
One second.
minutes?
You lost me.
Not nice, put it with him, he'll lose you quick. Can I take the Mylar with me?
Yeah, I did get the application fee and the application, so that.
You can take that.
Yep.
And they can have one of those, because we have these three.
You get them both.
Okay.
And we get these.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Have you pulled it from me yet?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the house is closing in about a week.
Hey, Mary, Mark could have actually phoned in. Is there a reason he didn't?
Bye, guys, thank you very much.
No,
Mylar, thank you.
the town has not,
They haven't approved that.
Oh, they didn't approve it?
No.
Russell, good job. Which one, the one below?
I don't need this.
You guys here for this? You,
He forgot to bring, take his pen with him, it's a
that
very
was, no, that was my pen.
Oh, I thought
New
you.
fiscal year, I could order new pens.
That's a nice pen,
Jeez, no.
don't let that out of your sight.
Better hold
No,
on.
all my other markers ran away, so, thank you.
Informal discussion, Sanderson property.
Is this the one up by, the depot?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, I'm Jeff Brown. With me tonight also is Paul Alphin.
Oh, how are you tonight?
Delightful, how are you?
Very good.
Good.
Inundate you with plans.
One of these big ones.
Where's the Sanderson property?
Sanderson property, we talked about it, we did some special
Yeah.
permits for
What's the address then?
Oak Hill, Sanderson Road, and Whitcomb Road.
Very fun.
Yes, up behind Very Fine.
Hill?
This is Oak Hill. Yeah, what number Oak Hill would be? 10 Oak Hill would get you there.
You know where Miller's Automotive is?
Oh, just pulling up the map.
Huh?
Just pulling up the map.
They're small.
We have the locus on the corner.
Remember, he still wants to see what it looks like.
Yeah, let's see.
Trees
I
and.
buy all this technology, I should use.
Well, we're here to talk, I'm Jeff Brumlin, Mazda Brum Corporation, representing the co-trustees of the Oak Hill Road Trust, which are the Sanderson family. And they have developed, so far, 4 lots on this property over the last 4 years, I think, since I've been working for them. So the lots that they've already been cut out, these are the first 2. These were cut out and built by Roger Kennard. Those were on Whitcomb.
Yeah.
And the other 2 that Rich Watson is building are on Oak Hill, just across the street from the trail system.
Yep.
And then there are 2 more A&Rs, which are on this plan of 10 and 11, that were already approved but haven't been built on yet.
Approved those last year.
What's that?
We approved those last year.
That's correct.
Yep.
This is the balance of the property, and what it looks like, you can see with the contours, that it's up and down and rolling, it's all extremely highly permeable sands and gravels throughout. It's all treed, except for where the wetland is. I want to give you kind of an orientation of what goes on topographically. If you're coming up from the intersection of Sanderson and Oak Hill Road, this is George Sanderson, he now lives in the old farmstead.
Yeah.
He's one of the sons. If you go on Sanderson Road, on your left, you see the big fields. The town owns some of them, and there's a little community farm or something now going on. On the right is a hay field. It's hard to see if you're driving it. You can see it probably right about here, but then there's trees that have been growing along the stone wall out in front. So although it is a field and George maintains it, you don't really see too much of it because there's a row of trees 10 feet wide. Come up this end of Sanderson, take a right on Whitcomb, and there's a fairly steep grade up, and the contours go pretty quickly off of Whitcomb Road onto the property. So they have a lot here, which is, I believe, lot 19,
That also has an AT&T telephone easement that goes through it, and this kind of bisects the middle of the site. It's an old easement. And then you continue up Wickham and you come up to the other proposed entrance here, the other access point, and that's steep as well off the roadway. But then as you can see the contours, once you get back there, are very gentle in this area. Then the rest of it is up and down through this area. The middle of the site has basically one large esker separated by a valley here. On this side, on the north side of it, there's a stream that comes down and joins this ponded wetland area. Discharges back out on Sanderson Road. The rest of it goes up about 40 feet to an apex almost, and then straight back down 40 feet. All sand and gravels. But it's kind of a prominent feature on the site, and that's why I bring it up. Kind of comes across, even though there's valleys here, it kind of goes, there's a high point, high point, high point. On the other side of this wetland, on Oak Hill Road, I mentioned it last time, Oak Hill Road is very windy, dark, and there's only relatively a few places to put accesses that are safe. And so this A&R layout, if it were to be developed, would have access points that look like this, with common driveways. And that's just to show you that it's available, it's there, but I would recommend coming out at those specific spots.
Do you have extras?
I just have those two, yep. So that's what the site looks like. Like I said, it's fully treated, the soils are excellent, the wetlands are well established, they've already been flagged and surveyed. So we're at a point to start putting some plans together. In the intervening 4 years, we've just recently learned that you changed your regulations. So as of Monday, I was prepared to talk about the formula method of arriving at the density. And I got the new regulation. So this is the density that we call it in New Hampshire the proof plan or the yield plan.
Right.
So let's go through the yield plan if you would. These are the A&R lots that we've always had on Oak Hill Road. These are the A&R lots that we've always had on Sanderson, and then the two lots that, the one lot here, 19, and one lot here on 18. So there's 6, I think, here, 1 on Wickham, and 11 on Oak Hill Road. A total of 19, if I can check my notes. There are 16 regular conventional lots and 3 reduced frontage. So let me tell you about the reduced frontage. Lot 3 is 115 feet, you need 150. So we have the easement that goes through that lot. That's a reduced frontage. It's more than 100 feet. It's over 80,000 square feet. Lot 7 comes here, it's 35 feet of frontage. It has a strip here. It has to cross the wetlands onto this big esker. Or if you see this dashed line, that's alternatively we could put an easement and have access from a different direction so you don't have to cross the wetlands. And then lot 12, I think it is this the remaining lot here that we left for, basically, you'll see in the next plan, I left it for a trail, but we also left it wide enough so you could have a road there. So that's a reduced frontage lot. So we have a total of 19 A&R lots and 13 lots on the subdivision. And it's a pretty simple subdivision. You come in one way, come out the other. Roads are separated by more than 400 feet. They're all 40,000 square feet minimum. They all have 36,000 square feet of dry. If you look at closely, you'll note also that the way I've set it up with the contours, you can have a house and a septic system in some fairly flat land. I didn't go through the big hills, and I just avoided that. Except for right here, which I have to go through. But that's far enough away from the easement that I could do the cutting and filling to get that. So it's a very simple roadway. It's only 1,850 feet. If you add 32 lots, 1,850 feet of road is not very much, mainly because we're utilizing all the road frontage. This, we know, is not a bad plan, but it goes against what you want.
Exactly.
Because you just passed a bylaw that said we give you up to 200%, which is a big bonus to do a cluster.
Yeah.
So this is the cluster plan. Now it's taken us a while to get here, mainly because the Sandersons have discussed amongst themselves what they want to do, how they want to do it, all that. They're all on the same page right now. Okay, report you that in a while. And it's interesting, when Paul thinks that it's somehow in the card somehow, it's interesting, the formula-based method also got 47 units. So the old way, the new way, got the exact same amount.
That's interesting.
It's because of the amount of frontage.
Oh, because of the roads, you're on so much town land.
So let's go through the density part first, then I'll go through the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The density, there's a little note here. So 47 acres. Basically, we have 32 conventional lots. 16 of them are A&R, 3 of them are the reduced frontage, like I said, that gives you 19. We're going to keep 4 of them, these 2 that are already cut, and these 2 on this plan. That's a proposal to keep 4, so you go from 19 down to 15. Take the 15 times 2 gets you to 30,
Yeah.
and the 13 inner lots gets you to 43. You add the 4 back, gets you to 47. Pretty simple calculation.
And you get 46.
And we're only showing 46 because I didn't want to squeeze in the 47th one. So, I mean, you could say that you could squeeze it in here or there. There's some debate on a couple of these units whether the citizens even want to build it. So 46 is the number we're comfortable with. This kind of shows that we're not trying to push the envelope to get every single unit as well. So now let me tell you about the concept and how. So you see the A, B, C, D. The idea here is really 5 programs of development. A is obviously the big one, and let's start with E. E is just the 4 A&R lots. So somebody could buy those and get started pretty quickly, obviously. A is the big portion of it, this 21 units. Concept here, come off Whitcomb Road and then go back out to Whitcomb Road, but to come off Whitcomb Road with a double entrance. Not a boulevard per se, this is bigger than a boulevard. This is a big landscaped area in between here. So you almost don't even see the other roadway as you're coming in. If you see how the road is angled off to the right, that's done on purpose. So the car on the right side of the roadway will want to go to the right side. On his left, he would see a big grass area, which is our septic field.
Yeah.
On his straight ahead, he just sees landscaping and open space. He doesn't see any housing until he gets all the way to the top of the oval, so to speak, and then he starts seeing the houses. And I brought those houses up to the roadway on purpose because I figured that gives them a bigger backyard, gives them better separation to the street that's up here.
Yeah.
And also because, this field and across the way will be almost like a playground
Yeah.
for everybody that lives here. And so I did this in Billerica, where I put the houses up front, had a big field. I went there about a month ago. I was so excited because everybody was using the play field. There was a frisbee thing going on. There was some people
So
playing
that's how
soccer.
my neighborhood was when we grew up. We had a huge common field. It was a baseball, football field.
That's what this is. So this is a big common field. Bring the houses close so that they
Yeah,
can
no,
sit in their
it's great.
porch and watch their
Yeah.
kids. Then back here, units A6 to 12 is a little private driveway, so to speak. So this would be public, Road A and A2, A1. This would be a private kind of common driveway type of thing. More into the woods, you see I put some trees here to indicate that I want some plantings here. I want it to be
Yeah.
this open, this a little bit closed up. You take a right, go out to A2, and you just see some units. These 3 in the back will overlook the pond. So you just have a smattering of 4 or 5 units that are, let's say, not ideal units, but they're really not that
Right.
bad.
Don't say that.
What's that?
Don't say that.
Not ideal. They're beautiful units. They just don't have any particular
I don't have the
amenity.
yardage, yeah. I get it.
They don't have the front
Redeeming
yard.
qualities.
Like,
Yeah, it's,
but A15 and A20, really 3 units are just part of it. So
those are so.
I love this layout. Road B comes in, and it's just a regular cul-de-sac road. And I know you changed your regulations, thankfully, because that old cul-de-sac was absurd to build. And but this one fits into the new cul-de-sac with the MDOT and ASHTO. So there's 6 units here, standard cul-de-sac. There's nothing all that exciting about it, other than it's just beautiful land. It really is beautiful there. C and D, and the septic for this will be in the field. So it would be shared. These would share the septics in the field. On C, 8 units. Again, this has the option of being either public or private. I wanted to talk to you and the client about that, but you see I put right away on it. It's wide enough to be public roadway, that would be part of the development of the plan. D, it's a Y, and this Y configuration, we would have to talk to fire and police, but this is a exact configuration I used in Stowe, where the fire truck can go down.
He can back in.
Bruce
right?
Fletcher designed it, not me, and he designed it so that he could get a fire truck in and out. So that's the Y there.
It's an awful lot of pavement for two structures, though, isn't it?
Oh, the D4 and D5?
Was it
Not
drive?
that, no, over here, D2 to 3, with all this.
Yeah, that's just to show that something a little different, that's all, but it doesn't have to be that way. These are just concepts.
Yeah.
They're just pictures at this point.
What about easements between the different lots that people can walk through?
Okay, so the purple line everything here is open space.
Yeah.
And again, I definitely feel this is a pedestrian place. So the purple line is pedestrian, whether it be trails or sidewalks.
Yeah.
But they're all gonna connect. So some of them will be sidewalks, some of them will be trails, again, we developed
I
that.
think kids can walk through.
And they would walk everywhere, including across the street over to the big woods and off Oak Hill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's trails everywhere. I've got them even going up into the top of the Esker.
Yeah.
If you wanna work out, it's a good place.
Yeah.
The trails that you'd create in terms of width and base,
The base is great because it's already
I
there.
mean, would you create them?
Oh, you're gonna
in
cut
terms of
them?
Development.
You're gonna go in and make these trails.
My
They're not-
thought is,
They're not pre-existing trails.
correct, they're not pre-existing. These would be all
Like
unique.
stone dust trails, like that kind of
I
thing?
don't think you need to because the ground is so good, but I'm an advocate of having trails wide enough that two people can walk side by side.
Yeah, so you would
So,
actually,
I
you go
don't-
through with some kind of bobcat and
I think you do a
create them.
bobcat, exactly.
You'd create them.
That's my idea. Not all of them necessarily, maybe this one here.
Can they do that for open space?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they public access?
Are they both,
Public
yeah,
access.
they are?
Public access, that hasn't been discussed yet.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be an association, or is it gonna be?
Well, the way, this can be designed a couple of different ways. Obviously, there's gonna be condominium ownership, where there's shared septic systems.
Yeah.
But we haven't decided whether this is gonna be a condominium association, that's gonna be a condominium association, in that one. But I think in any event, even if there are multiple condominium associations, I see them collectively owning the remaining open space. The-
It wouldn't
No.
be something the town would be able to access?
Well, we haven't got that far in the thought process yet. I mean, some towns don't want to take on property, maybe the Conservation Trust wants to take on the property, but we assumed nothing at this stage of the game.
What about a public easement?
If that's,
Desirable?
I think the whole concept for open space is to give, public access, not private access. I'm not saying you'd have an army of people walking through there, but you're right across from Oak Hill. You've already got an established trail system there. I think it would be, that's my opinion, but I just think it would be.
I like the idea.
Is,
I leave it.
it's interesting that you bring this to us. It's too bad Don MacIver isn't here tonight, because just about a month ago, Don and I took
I don't know what's up with that.
a seminar up in Lowell to talk about this very concept.
Yeah, it's a
And,
good
and they were hitting all the bullets that you just hit, except for one. This is a wide open space right now, a lot of vegetation there, plus a lot of wildlife. Right. Now, one thing that even the open space designers forget is that when you make these things, there's no pathways for the wildlife. Now, in here, I see a pathway running right across the middle. I see the nice clear pathway between these two developments. Not much here, but this section is almost like a Jersey barrier. And it would preclude any kind of natural pathway, it would block any kind of natural pathway that already exists here. If there's some way that you can separate corridor through here, you'll be fitting into the model that we're looking to try to achieve now. For instance, A2 and A3, if one of those could be combined with maybe A16 and 17 and in such a way that you could create a corridor, an upland corridor across that, you'd then allow the natural wildlife to come into that nice big green area in the middle
Let them walk 50 feet and go up in
And-
your elbow.
and into the the wetland area. You know, if they're going there now, what this would do is this would stop that migration to there. You know, what I'm asking is think of the wildlife too, and the wildlife corridors that probably already exist there. And let's try to come up with a concept that doesn't block them
Okay,
completely.
okay.
That would be great.
What is off to this side over here? What's further over this way?
This side, it's a subdivision.
Yeah.
Who's there already?
Yeah, it's right up against the,
Yeah.
it's right here, there's lots right here, so
That's what I was looking at
they're
the
not
map.
going this way.
If you,
I don't remember what it is.
there's a whole subdivision on that side.
It's,
But it's a heavily,
Orchard
Lane.
the whole area is
Orchard
heavily
Lane?
wooded.
Yeah.
Orchard?
Yeah, and so to block, see, one of the
I
things
just don't,
that
how
they
do you
did
get
was
that there's blockage
they
there?
put these Ts in here where they clustered 3 or 4 houses together. And as opposed to, if you look at A1 through A5 or even 6, that's almost like a Jersey barrier
Well, what,
to wildlife.
Mr. Crowley, where are you trying to get to? Because the problem though, even if I opened up something here, that, like, we can't really change, and that we can't really change, and that's gonna be an A&R lot, so they're gonna be impeded from going on to Wickham anyway.
To open a corridor through this area to,
But here it ends, because this is all houses.
Well, Richie, I have at least 30 turkeys that walk through my front yard and use my driveway as a pathway. I don't think the guy needs to create a wildlife pathway. I mean,
well,
They're,
they're
quite
it's the concept that
inventive.
people are looking at now with the open space concept.
but it's not a requirement.
It's not a requirement, but it's something I'd like to see is some consideration for not only just the natural vegetation, but the natural wildlife.
All right, that's why we're here.
Yep.
We're to hear these
Exactly.
sort of things. Yep,
Yeah,
We're here to hear that.
yep.
because from here to here is a Jersey barrier. Because you're not gonna get any deer or anybody go through that.
But we really need to look at the whole, go outside and look
Yeah.
where, the neighborhood, because if this is all houses with developed lots, and I think it is, then they're not gonna go there anywhere. Would they go this way?
Here's the wetland where they'll be heading to.
This is where they'll go, absolutely,
Yeah.
because there's some food in there.
Yeah. And you've got this corridor, nice and open.
They go to bedding, they go to
Right,
water and
sounds good.
food, that's where they go. They don't care what's, you know. There's a big buck
As-
walking right through,
As I said, one of the concepts that they,
No,
one of the
no.
preferred concepts
I
was
said walk through
similar to
houses.
this, very similar.
Yeah, file,
But they would have
An open space.
a shared driveway with 3 or 4 houses,
Kind of-
and that allows then
This one doesn't have all
the
the
open
houses
corridor
right now.
between.
Problem is you
As
kill
opposed to this downtown common type of.
That's pretty nice.
No, I know, this would be an unbelievable neighborhood.
So there's a challenge for you.
Yeah, okay, I get the challenge, I'll see what I can do on that.
I personally like the way you have it, all that center open like that is pretty nice.
I think it's
Oh, I think so too. I would not suggest to take anything here and move it here, but you've got to
I mean, it's obvious
work
you
with
put in
the
less
space that you have already.
impervious areas, you're not crossing wetlands.
Right, there's no, I didn't
Yeah.
say that, but you're true, I didn't have any wetland crossings.
So,
This
I
is-
mean, even MacGyver would probably be all happy with this one.
This is a terrific plan,
Thank you, we think so, too.
yeah.
So,
We're
it's
really
very nice,
proud
thank
of
you. Anything else?
No.
The,
Any comments from the,
My name is Doc Lazarus, I'm from the Conservation Trust.
okay.
I had worked, a lot of preliminary work with the Sandersons up until about 2002.
Yep.
And so I had done some work in there, and met with Dave Anderson, Sanderson, I went through it. And we also had Mass Audubon, come and take a look at the area. We had an appraisal done, which we paid for. So over a 10-year period, we accumulated quite a bit of information that would be available when it comes time to sit down and talk about the ecological and geological value of that. Especially it's as part of the continuity with 220 acres of Oak Hill, plus there's aquifer considerations too, and lake conditions of other local land. So I think it's good to look at the project context of all the surrounding
Exactly,
land use, you know.
exactly. And the wildlife occupy that whole area.
That's right.
Does this feed any wells?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It does?
That's a good point.
It's in the aquifer, yes.
Yeah.
Whitcomb Avenue.
Great
Yeah,
point. Do you see any,
You're sand and gravel, right?
Anything-
That's your substrate?
Yeah, and we get septic, so it's, whatever goes in is gonna go
It's
right
just gonna be
there.
accelerating the runoff anyway, it's not gonna change the geology.
And everything goes to the pond.
That's what I'm saying, all you do is
This is
make
an
it
easy
go
plan
fast.
for us,
No,
because it
it's-
all
yeah.
goes to one place.
yeah.
It's really, it's remarkably, parts of it are remarkably easy. The toughest part was dealing with the topography.
Is there open water there?
There is, it changes regularly.
It's not
And that's why I
vernal.
didn't want to show it, because it's, where is it today is different, and it dries up in August, and
Oh, it is vernal.
it's partially dry. This part right here was wet when I was there a month and a half ago.
Well, we've had a lot of rain, I mean, but
It's
that's,
like a vernal, it's like a vernal pond, really.
It's vernal.
Intermittent.
is that perch? Do you know if that's a perch pond, or is that, in other words, that's sitting on a clay bed, or is that?
I don't know, but they,
Is that the water table?
they believe, the Sandersons believe that Very Fine some decades ago changed their operations and,
Created the pond,
the opposite, the pond started draining a lot more,
because they're drawing so much water.
probably. That's their theory, nobody's.
And that's the water table. It's not perch,
Oh, yeah, and I think that's a lot there.
so it's okay.
Very Fine's water comes from municipal water supply.
Does now.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
What, they get municipal water now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't use any wells?
I don't
The
know that.
theory's gone, because it's drying out
Well, how
still.
long ago did they put water up there? I don't know how long water's been in the depot section. I don't have it. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't,
We had the water used to be right up on Whitcomb Ave anyways, right? That's where the office was.
I'll tell you,
So
it's
the
a
pumps,
horrible plan, though.
so there's some buildings
Any-
up there.
What's what will be the square footage of the homes? They're gonna be,
We haven't decided at all, that's a good question. These are all, like, we had to show a certain width on them, so these are about
Yeah, sure.
60 feet wide, which are, you could get up to 3,000 if you wanted to, you could push it, but my thought was, not my thought, this is just Jeff Brem speaking,
yeah,
is they wouldn't necessarily build the big ones that Kennard built. You'd want to have them all themed. I did talk to the Sandersons a lot about this, about theming the project and creating signage that's the same throughout and
Yeah.
kind of the same look throughout, whether it's signage or fencing, landscaping, and they really like that idea. And the street names would be the kind of themed as well, and the whole project would be thought about a little bit more from the beginning to the end. And then if they were to sell it, so it's not house scale. And when they would sell it, they would come with a series of conditions, restrictions and so forth, that the ultimate buyer would have to comply with. Those are all to be determined in the months.
how come no, I know you got that big rec area in the middle there, but no other, like, there's no tennis court, no basketball court? No thought to that?
Possibly in this one, I mean, I haven't really thought about that. I don't think tennis is a.
They're just not doing that anymore?
For a sport court, maybe, that kind of thing, or a.
That's what I mean, like a,
Skateboard park or something?
No, well, like you said, you could have a tennis court / basketball court, you know, you throw.
and my question is not, it's not something, it's not a requirement, I'm just saying from the standpoint, are they just not doing, I mean, when I grew up, everybody had, you know, formal rec areas in the neighborhoods. When we had a pool, I mean, everyone
We had a
had
lake.
neighborhood pools.
That was it. You had a pool?
In Acton, that they built, there's 5 neighborhoods, all got Olympic-sized pools as part of the association, and they all came with like tennis courts, basketball.
You guys were rich.
I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to do it here because I'm creating a certain image here. But maybe back over here, I could look into something like that. I also want to see the dark trees as you're thinking about the plan? Oak Hill is so kind of unique, it's so dark, it's so curvy, that I thought, and it's a scenic road and so forth, I thought you want to protect that. So that's why I put this very thick layer of trees that
Oh,
we
that's
would be
great.
retaining.
That's,
Yeah, no, it's a great plan. I don't see
Well
any-
thought out, thank you. Any other questions?
When would you guys file?
That's a good question. So that, we haven't really developed the next steps yet. This is like a big moment to get here to show you this and make sure that we're not going off on the wrong foot. We gotta get the wetland defined, although it's not gonna impact anything, so we could continue to we have to make a decision whether we should go for a preliminary plan or write the definitive. This is essentially the preliminary plan.
Yeah, it's-
You know,
it looks like it.
there's a few more things you require. You want an environmental impact report, a draft one and all that. My question to you is, do you really need that, or do you think?
Oh,
we could
don't
just-
you have to, I mean, you have no natural heritage concerns on there? You sure about that? No. You're not, well, that's,
We talked about that a few minutes ago. I said, you gotta check those maps weekly, see how they're doing.
that's what I'm saying, I
Yeah.
mean, that's,
We'll check on them.
that's on you, I mean, you wanna come file for us, and then you go in front of Concom, and they're like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, so I think we should talk to Concom, but we're not doing any wetland crossings per se, and we do need the wetland,
No filling.
no fill-in.
No, I know, but I know wherever there's water, they're selling it, or so, I'm just saying, it's up to you, it's your headache, not
We
ours.
looked on the map a while ago, we're not on the natural heritage map, so I don't.
No critical species
no
in
critical
there,
species.
nothing's
I
been
don't verify
identified.
that, but assuming that's the case, I don't think we have issues there, so. So the question is there an advantage to file for a preliminary? Does it? We don't know, so we're asking.
I don't think you do, because I think based on your acreage, you're gonna have to go, it's our discretion whether you file open space or not. I mean, I would prefer you file, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I would prefer an open space plan.
I think there isn't anybody here that would not agree with you. I mean, I prefer the open space plan.
Why waste the money doing,
Exactly what I'm getting at. This is the preliminary plan minus a few things.
I would
Yeah.
go to, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't go to definitive unless, man, you think there's
Well-
something.
There is such a treasure trove of information from before that Art said he had. I recommend they work with Conservation Trust.
Oh, yeah.
Or, something like that, just to see if there's any specific areas that should be preserved that you don't know about.
Correct, no, that's why I'm asking the questions. like
That's,
they-
that's good, we'll do that. Even if we were to do the definitive, this is a lot of work. So I've got a lot of, and in that work, we will amongst ourselves decide what we would like to do as far as what's public, what's private, all that, we'll do that. But at some point, I may want to come in for discussion.
Well,
And say,
and
we've decided to make this public, we just want to make sure you're okay with that, or whatever we're doing.
I'm sure you're gonna convey to the Sandersons that we expressed that we would at least like the open space part and the trails to be considered public.
Yep, we will.
Or unless, if there's some particular area they would like to restrict for privacy reasons or whatever, that's a different issue, but.
I asked Paula to comment on it, but oftentimes I hear from my clients when you say that, the lawyer's not there, they worry about the liability. Like if somebody-
There's no liability in terms of granting easements over property in accordance with the statute that absolves the property owner of liability. I guess the question they're gonna ask us, are you contemplating that all of the land, all the open space would be public, or there'd be trail access through the open space?
Trail access for people who, want to go out and enjoy the open space, but, not for camping overnight, or, you know what I mean? No one to loiter and become, you don't want to create a nuisance for the residents, but at the same time, you want to make sure that the public can access the property. and
That's
enjoy the
not that
space.
uncommon, so that's something I could talk to you
And
about.
and I've kept the trails far enough away from the houses, so they're not.
I did a job where, as I'm working,
Yeah,
I
'cause I'll be
get
honest with
voices, and people walking in these people's backyards,
Right.
up on Whitetail Way.
I know, but
Like,
there's
what the
plenty
heck?
of precedent now, especially with the rail trails and stuff running back through people's backyards. I mean, that's all over the state now. And I'll be honest with you, Littleton, while it has a lot of open space, it's broken. Like if you tried to, like I used to mountain bike every day, you can't string a continuous mountain bike trail through Littleton. It's not possible.
Well, this is a pretty good hill here, and you can.
No, I know, but
Go up
if
the
you
hill.
look at
No
your,
bicycles allowed, this is for pedestrian access.
Oh, it's pedestrian?
well, see, that's.
Four-wheelers.
No.
If you look at a place like Oak Hill that is utilized that way, you're right next door. I mean, it's gonna be a natural progression for people to extend the trail.
And then, parking for a couple of cars.
Yeah, but not, you wouldn't be looking for four-wheelers back there, and you wouldn't be looking for dirt bikes.
So, yeah, I have room for a couple cars here, that kind of thing. That's probably a good spot to do it across from the way there's already a couple of spots.
And that's near the Oak Hill access?
Yes, right
I would
across the
think the
street.
green-
That's it, right there.
I would think your green, your dark
Nice.
green area, you would wanna keep public.
Well, that was I just asking you, did you anticipate that all that open space, the dark green, would be public?
No, I don't
You're
think
talking
you
about the
have to,
trail.
because you show a purple trail that goes through the greenery
It should be
across.
the trail. So
It's a trail.
Because trail easements are easily defined, understood, liability is protected, that sort of stuff. Granting blanket easement to something, you're absolutely correct. You'll have someone that says, well, I have the right to go there, and you'll let people live in the woods.
But you don't have the right to walk into their backyard and into, no, I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm just saying, at least the Greens property public, and then if the neighborhood has their own separate trail system that allows them to access all the buildings, that's between them.
I would absolutely agree with Terry too, on that concept too. And
Because I think that's the whole point of having the open space, is that you're creating public open space, not just a private open space.
They're not
Private park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peach.
If, I take it you wouldn't mind me calling Maren if I had a question in the design process? That's always the problem, is we design something and we're like, I wonder what the board
No, they
thinks.
don't have that problem here. You can call Maren on your time.
And then just get them, well, if you go to Stowe, I call up in May, they put me in a September meeting, I'm like.
We're not that
what?
uptight,
So,
just a few people.
That's great, and as Terry and then Peter said, if there's some sort of a community activity that, or community areas that you could put with each of these, that'll actually encourage,
Recreation.
And the other thing too is, I mean, mine's not here, obviously, but
activity.
we know Mark.
you know Mark, and you know what Mark would say about the open space. I mean, he wants what he considers to be real open
As we're
space.
developing this plan, from our engineering point of view, we're looking and say, it's not a bad plan to build from a developer's point of view, because it's not a lot of roadway.
Sure, sure.
It's easy, and you can get in and out of there and kind of break it in stages. You don't have to invest a lot of money and so forth. So this isn't, as it turned out, this isn't a bad plan, and if you didn't have a good open space regulation, let's say you had another town that almost doesn't give you the bonus, and the developer would push, I don't want to.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you.
You got a good regulation that allows that.
You're lucky in that you have this, you're surrounded by public road, and so infrastructure's not your concern with open space.
And that's the purpose, is to try to steer development the way we want it. And that's, you're very close there. Yeah,
That's a
I think.
Thing of beauty.
That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close you.
Close
All
here.
right, so we'll see you probably in a few months.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You've got how many copies?
And, any comments from the audience? Any additional comments?
I got
Do you want a
these
plan?
two.
Do you want a plan? Do we have a,
There's a bunch right here.
well, we have the old, this is,
One of each. And then I
It's
got a
still
whole
be-
pile here.
You do a good job, Peter.
I think, Peter, the meeting is adjourned.
Yes, I like your,
All right.
Meeting is adjourned.
Any more, Maren,
No
any
more
more
board
business?
I second the motion.
All right, I'm gonna move to adjourn.
I already did.
Second, third,
All right.
done. Go home.
Yeah, that's a smart looking neighborhood.
Thank you.
It's great to.